The current experiment focuses on solving linear equations with the use of uh, Liebman formula or Liebman method or successive displacement or matrix displacement method. In this, you will be given a case study and you have to formulate the linear equations from the case study. So one option is yes, just make sure the screen is visible. Okay. Okay, so give the name open Scilab, create in Scinodes, one new blank Scinodes, give the name displacement, matrix displacement method or Liebman method. In this method, we will have a set of linear equations or a case study. Some case studies, very commonly seen case studies, there are two ways in which questions can be asked. One is direct set of linear equations will be given and you have to prove that the solution is so and so. Otherwise, indirectly, you will be asked the question. First, there is a case study. In the case study, there is some unknown variables, constraints, and one initial guess is given. On the basis of this initial guess and constraints, you have to formulate the linear equation, and once you have the linear equations, write them in matrix form, then you apply the Liebman equation or Liebman method and get your answers. Our solution may or may not converge because for all matrices we may not be able to get the solution. One case study I have given on the screen. Okay, one case study is there, one set of linear equations are there. So this I will call as question 1. This I will call as question 2. Question 1 is that we have 4 sets of linear equation: nx1 minus 1x2 2x3 plus 0x4 is equal to 6. Second, there is minus 1x1 plus 11x2 minus 1x3 plus 3x4 is equal to 25. Next, there is 2x1 minus 1x2 plus 10x3 minus 1x4 equal to minus 11. Then 0x1 plus 3x2 minus 1x3 plus 8x4 is equal to 15. And you have to find out what is x1, x2, x3, x4 that satisfy this set of linear equations. The second format is case study format. In the case study format, you will be given A question in the form of there is a person that is buying. So maybe some person is given. That person is buying one of the three fruits, apple, mango, and banana, and he is incurring some price. You will be given some quantities, maybe 10, 5, 10, and price is 1,000. And then maybe some 5, 6, 5, and 200, and 198, and maybe 565. So in this format, you will be given a case study. You have to find out what is, okay, let us say apple is X, orange is Y, mango is Z, and there is the cost. So there is LHS, there is RHS. What happens? You have to take this case study and formulate your linear equations from the case study. So what will be the first linear equation? Anyone? If I assume that apple is X, orange is Y, and mango is Z, what will be my first linear equation? You have 10, 5, 10 coefficients, cost. What will be my linear equation? Think. This is X, orange is Y, mango is Z. Person is buying some quantities of fruits, incurring a cost. Three types of constraints are given for three unknowns. You have to find out what is X, Y, and what is Z. So that is a simple format of case study, and the goal of these different matrix solvers is same. From the case study, find out what is going to be the value of X, Y, Z that will satisfy these linear equations. Okay, any questions? What is given on the screen is also a case study of this format. This is one example. On your screen, you have one more example. So formulation of the linear equations and then solution using any one of the matrix methods. So even in the exam, you can expect a case study like this. Okay, see, you will have all your tools. You will have your programs, you will have internet, whichever GPT you want to use. Our questions are not for by hearting and coming here and typing. Okay, this is not going to be typing exam. You have to think. Can you formulate? Can you understand the question? Can you formulate the linear equations? All the methods will give you some answer. Your answers will be different. So which method is accurate? Why it is accurate? Why the other methods are failing? Can you plot a visualization? Can you show with iterations what is the change in the variable? How the solution is converging? So we want that from you. We want that kind of meta-analysis. Okay, so this is what we are going to see. The Liebman method, as you know the title, or displacement method, it will be useful or converge to solution, especially for matrices that are diagonal dominant. Diagonal dominance means diagonal elements of that row are greater than or equal to sum of the non-diagonal elements. Now, these non-diagonal elements, if their sum is equal to the diagonal element, then it is weakly diagonal dominant. If their sum is greater than the diagonal element, then they are strictly diagonal dominant. So Liebman method and the previous method, Jacobi, both are iterative methods and both may converge to solutions if the matrix is strictly diagonal dominant. Within these iterative methods, there is a preference for the Liebman method. The reason is people say it is found to converge to a solution in less number of iterations. Now, you may find multiple ways of solving. There are multiple implementations of Seidel method. Let us see one. Let us see both of them. The first one. Okay, so I am taking dummy data. 4 minus 1 0 minus 1 4 and minus 1 and 0 minus 1 and 4. So these are the coefficients of the linear equation. This is the left hand side. There is a right hand side which is the solution of the linear equation. 15, 10 and 10. In this way we have two matrices. One is the left hand side LHS, which are coefficients of linear equations. Okay, I hope screen is visible. This side, is it visible? Okay, okay. So we have A, which is the coefficient, and B, which is the vector form. B holds the right hand side of the system of linear equations. Now this right hand side is just a single column. So I have written in the form of vector. Left hand side is a square matrix. So it is written in the form of rows and columns. Every iteration method requires two more things. One is max iterations. Let us say 100, max 100 iterations. And every iterative method requires a starting point, okay, initial guess. So I will set it as 0, 0, 0. So this is my initial starting point for the matrix method. Now for solving this, I will have to use my I will create a function. This function will take a, b, x and max iterations. So it will have four things: A, B, initial guess and max iteration. It will return the solutions which will be stored in variable x. And these solutions we can print. Then we have a loop. So we will traverse for max iteration number of times. This max iterations we have set, they are maybe 100 is a good value, maybe 1000. If we don't find a solution in 100 iterations, we can maybe try 1000 iterations. Okay, so we are iterating through each row. So j variable it will iterate. For all iterations, we are going to iterate through each of the rows. So J will be from 1 to size A minus 1, A comma 1. This size A comma 1, it is number of equations or the number of unknowns that we want to solve for. Next, each element in X is obtained from the formula, Liebman formula. So we will apply Liebman formula, which is B. Then we take the sum of A multiplied by X. Plus we add the diagonal elements to the corresponding J and we divide with the diagonal element. Okay, so this in this way we will get our solution. We have to iterate for max iter number of times. The solution that is returned we can store in X. Call the function, pass the parameters, first A, B, pass x0 and let us call this X and max number of iterations. Finally, we will display X and that will be printed in display. We are writing solution. This will display our solution. So in summary, we have a matrix A. We have a vector B. The matrix, it has the coefficient of linear equations. The vector has the right hand side, which is the solutions. We have to decide max iterations. We have to decide initial guess, which is X. Let the initial guess be that all the unknowns should be 0. We write a simple function which is iterating max iter number of times. It is traversing for each unknown variable and applying the Liebman formula. So just to see if there are any syntax errors. Okay, we don't have syntax errors. Next, we can check which means our linear equation is 4x minus y equal to 15 minus x plus 4y minus z equal to 10 and minus y plus 4z is equal to 10. So substituting here we have x equal to 4.9, y equal to 4.64 and z equal to 3.66. 4 into 5 are 20 minus 4. Okay, we can substitute x, y and z in the linear equations to see if the linear equation are satisfied by our solution. There is no guarantee that our method will converge to the correct solution except for diagonal dominant matrices. Current example is diagonal dominant, so it should converge to the correct solution. Okay. In this way, this was the first version of Liebman formula. You will also find many other versions. So finished this program, then we go to the case study. You can try the same version of code on the case study. See what solution you get. Okay, the case study, just wait, I am sharing. To test whether the implementation is correct, you can try this standard question, 10x minus x2 plus 2x. You should get the solution as 1, 2, minus 1 and 1. If you are getting this solution, that means your implementation is correct. Okay. So on the case study is same, except the variables they are using is x1, x2, x3 and x4. What they have given, x1 is 10 minus 1, 2 and 0. x2 is minus 1, 11 minus 1 and 3. 2 minus 1, 10. 2 minus 1, 10 and minus 1. That is for x3. 0, 3 minus 1, 8. 0, 3 minus 1 and 8 for x4. And the cost will be 6, 25 minus 11 and 15. So for these linear equations, you can store this in A. Cost will be in vector B. You have to solve for Ax equal to B. Find what is x given A and B. And prove that x1, x2, x3 and x4, they are 1, 2, -1 and 1. By substituting in this equation, you should get left hand side equal to right hand side. Both should be same. Okay, any questions? If you are getting the same proof as solution, that means your implementation is correct. Yes, you have written. Yeah, you can apply the code on this. See if you are getting the same answer. That means your implementation is correct. Whatever part of the it does not have labels. It is an admin forward was there. Yes. I think it is SPI activity at the rate 1 to 3. SPI activity. The question will not be visible if I scroll. Yes, we have to prove that your left hand side and right hand side will be satisfied with the use. These are the values. You have to prove the implementation is giving you this four values. That means it is correct. You know the bias on the floor. And then it's easy. Let's see how the table today.
So what is the experiment number?
Experiment, we have to prove that the left hand side and right hand side will be equal if the solution to the unknown variables is 1, 2, minus 1 and 1. And the solution we will use the Liebman method.
What is the experiment number? How many experiments?
Just wait to see. Eight. Serial number 8 you can write. Now you can see that it satisfies the linear equations. Then you can try to prove that this system of linear equations will be solved if the four unknowns are 1, 2, minus 1 and 3. If it is correctly true, that means your implementation is correct, which will converge the solution you will get for diagonal dominant matrix. This one is diagonal dominant, so you will get the solution. Yes. You can look at some other is getting solved. That means the implementation is correct. Otherwise, you can try if it is working, then good.
मेरा बैग उधर खड़ी लोग साइड में
Okay, one has solved this.
So the solution.
You have got the solution. What is that?
This one, the file will execute it.
But the solution, is it converging? Sometimes it will execute because the iterations are over. But your solution will not satisfy the system of linear equation. Especially when the diagonal matrix or the square matrix is not diagonal dominant.
So could you see this? This slide.
How to find out if this is right? This will solve, this will sacrifice the left hand side and right hand side.
काय झालं 4-5 मुलं टाकायची नाही घेत तुझ्यासमोर तू कुठे ती शोधतो
That solution you will get, but does that
अरे
satisfy?
इंटरेस्ट क्लास मध्ये अजून कोण कोण आहे हा एक नडा पण घ्यायला हा बरोबर हेच आहे नडा मध्ये
Then the next part here is to see.
आणि अजून कोण आहे तुझ्यावर
बरोबर घेतलं ह्या बॅच मध्ये
हे काय हे मोरे हे दोघं तुझेच आहेत ना
मला क्लास मध्ये म्हणजे लॅब एकच
ते शिल्पा
याच्यामध्ये छान ते
कोणताच राहतो बघायच्या 3 जण आहेत हा मोरे नडा साहिल भावना आणि एक मुलगी कोणतरी होती
Okay, so there on the screen now, two things are there.
मावळे नाव नाही पाटील आहे वाटतं
There are 10 cases.
कुठल्या वेळेस
If your solution is satisfying the equation, that means implementation is correct. To test whether the implementation is correct, you have to try question number 2 and prove that the solution is 1, 2, minus 1 and 1 for the 4 unknowns. Because the matrix is diagonal dominant, you should get the same solutions that is given in the answer. When the matrix is not diagonal dominant, then there is no guarantee that your solution is that also. Make sure your LHS, RHS are equal. You get the six.
There's something is
solve this second part. So this will get So I think many of you have done. Just because we are getting the answer through the method does not mean it is the right answer. See, sometimes maximum iterations will be over. So you have to make sure, substitute the solution in the linear equations and make sure that the constraints are satisfied. For example, in this question, if I formulate my linear equation, I should get 10x1 minus x2 plus 2x3 equal to 6. Then minus x1 plus 11x2 minus x3 plus 3x4 is equal to 25. 2x1 minus x2 plus 10x3 minus x4 equal to 15, and 3x2 minus x3 plus 8x4 is equal to 15. Substituting the solutions in this linear equation, are we getting left hand side equal to right hand side? X1 is 1, so this will become if x1 is 1, then 10 minus 2 plus times minus 1, which is 8 minus 2 is equal to 6. So yes, by substituting in the linear equation 1, left hand side equal to right hand side. Then minus 1 plus 22 minus plus 1 plus 3. Yes, the second linear equation is also satisfied. Third linear equation minus 10 minus 1 2 so 1 minus yes, minus 11, and then finally we have 3x minus of minus 1 plus 8, so 6 plus 1 plus 8, 15. So we have proved that the solution ensures that left hand side is equal to right hand side. That means solution is converging, and using the displacement method, we have obtained the correct solution. There is one more version. So questions may come once you have found the solution. Likely questions will be, what is the relationship or what is the impact? What is the impact of X on the output? So that means, by increasing, you have to increase the quantity of X one at a time. Okay? And find out how much is the output changing by keeping everything else Y, Z, and X1, X2, by keeping X1 as constant and X2, X3 and X4. X1 should be varied and X2, X3, X4 as constant. You have to prove that, you have to check that what is the impact on the output. So how much is the change in output? What happens is we have to prove that x1 impacts the output. If x1 is 0, so there are three possibilities here. If x1 is 0, or varying the units of x1, that means you have to take x1, 2 multiplied by x1, 3 multiplied by x1, and find out what is the impact on the output. Impact on the output. But we have to keep the units of x2, x3 and x4 constant here. So x2, x3 and x4 units will be constant. If that is the case, how much will be the impact on the output? So this is called, in data science term, partial dependence. Partial dependence because x2, x3, x4 are constant, only x1 is changed. And we are seeing how much is the impact on the output. So this you can take as exercise for now. We have seen in previous class, plot 2D function. In the plot 2D function, you can plot the number of units of x on. Okay, you have to use the plot 2D function. On the x-axis, keep the units of x1. Okay, on the y-axis, display output of n x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4. So this partial dependence plot will help you understand how much x has impact on the output. Very interesting plot. Even in sklearn, they provide a ready-made function, which but that is in Python. Okay, I hope the question is clear. See, again I am repeating, and note down. You can note down the question. Now that we have obtained the solution, okay, we have obtained that x1 is 1, x2 is 2, x3 is -1, and x4 is 1. If we have the variable, we have proved that x1 is so and so, x2 is so and so, x3 is -1, and x4 is 1. Now we have to plot the partial dependence of x1 on the output. Okay, that is the question. Plot partial dependence of x1 on the output. In simple words, this partial dependence means vary the units of x1, okay, keeping x2, x3, x4 as constant. Find out how much is the change in the output. For example, you can plot, change n from 1 to maybe 25. Keep the units of x2, x3, x4 constant. Okay, just vary the units of x1. Then on the x-axis, you have to use the 2D plot 2D function. On the x-axis, you will have 1 to 20. On the y-axis, find out what is the output of nx1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4. Okay, so let us say for n is equal to 1 to 20. And then you have to repeat the same exercise. Get on the same plot the partial dependence of x2, x3 and x4. Okay, so take let us say 10 minutes. Take 10 minutes. See if you are able to plot this. One hint for you is the previous week's exercise where we had done this line plot. We have used line plot there. So ideally, you should get something like this. There is y-axis. On the x-axis, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 20. So this is n, which is going from 1 to 20. On the y-axis, let us say there is the line in blue. This is nx1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4. That means only the units of x1 I am varying. Then I can have this one more line. What this is doing is x1 plus nx2 plus x3 plus x4. Then I can have one more line, let us say like this. So this line is x1 plus x2 plus nx3 plus x4. And then one more line, which will be x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus n x4. Quite a challenging, plot, but since in the last week we had done something like this using plot 2D, I think you will be able to complete this. Okay, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I think let us give some 15 minutes for this. Then we can continue to our final part. Okay, any questions this side? Against this. You have understood what partial dependence plotting you have don't hesitate to ask. Question is clear? You get the plot, get the line plot. Should have ideally 4 line plots in the same the same canvas. One x-axis Read the question. You need to type the question. Or I can forward in the chat. The question I can forward in our chat also. Okay. I have given the question in the chat. Who wanted to type this copy from the chat? It is easy and you won't need much time, but refer to the last week's exercise. Then we have done the same thing. Next, whether you are getting the solution as 150 minus 1. It should not take more than 5 minutes, but that for last week's exercise. And yes. First, check whether this is giving you the solution. Each your left hand side and right hand side are equal. Take one. Not everyone is joined.
This is it.
Good. I have made. First one to complete will get attendance. Will get attendance. They can go. But don't go even if you get, because we have one more small part here. Okay, I will send the yeah, yes. Now we'll take a challenge.
So today, give us 15 minutes early. We have
First one to complete the exercise in 5 minutes. If you complete, I will leave everyone. Finish in finish in 2 minutes and you know WhatsApp. Immediately I will leave. But if you finish in 10 minutes, I will leave you at 1 again. Knowledge is like cup will not overflow. Cup will become sweet. Challenge accepted. 2 minutes finish this. Question I made. I only have Aryan's email. No, Aryan, I only have your email. Yeah, Aryan, I only have your email. I mailed to you. Okay. So Aryan has mailed a question which is in the comments. And should we do it in 5 minutes?
हो रहेगा पर I don't think it is पर वो ये equation नहीं होगा बाजू में बैठा जल्दी करेगा यार निकालना पूरी करेगा X1 expression coefficient B मैट्रिक्स वेरी करेगा ना अगर आंसर का वेरिएबल वेरी करेगा तो कोएफिशिएंट भी वेरी करेगा right it is feeling that there is some mathematical object okay you see that you have to okay your implementation is correct further part is that read the question and try to understand how its solution will be useful for you. You see the question
Actually, how much अलग-अलग answers को it's actually for
So remember, X1, X2, X3, X4, they are for this question.
and the value coefficient of
Yeah, we are normally very. No, it is X1 plus X2 plus X3 plus X4. Just first we will do one X1, then 2X2, 3X3, 4X4 up to 20X1, keeping the other coefficient
within 4 equations.
we just did one X1 plus X2 plus X3 plus X4, that equation only. Or only that equation for plot the function. I think we wrote down without these questions. These two.
These are these equations which you reference. The example to experts.
See battery only so much. Then we will take like that means on the X axis. On the Y axis, when it's the other coefficients
All
are
are interesting answers.
how much is the this would be there on that
solution. Then we all are bit axis. We get rid of that deadlock. कला तो सब रिसोर्सेज एलोकेट करके बैठा है डेडलॉक भाई जल्दी जल्दी सॉल्व कर वो ग्राइड नहीं कर हमको बोला था वो बोला था सी में 4 पैटर्न में आता है बोला था तो किसका असेंबली पैलिंड्रोम निकाल देना बायोलॉजी राइट में क्या
यहाँ पे हम लोग सीजी पे नहीं रिज्यूमे देखिए किया
कंपलसरी टाइप का
जिसका भी हुआ है
फिर इनका रेज्यूमे अच्छा है
अक्षय का नहीं है, अक्षय का 10.5 से रिलेटेड है
और आप सब हो गया किस बेसिस
मेरे को पूछा तो मेरे को वही डिस्कस
Just because you have exams, we will finish fast. Take the attendance and I will leave you. Nidhi, Arush, Aryan is present. Shubham is present. Suresh, sorry, Kaumud. Karan, Shubral, Siddhi, Ayush, Sophie, Nikita absent. Tejas. Mahendra. Hitesh. Kalla is present. Aditya. Manvi. Siddhi.
Kumbar 26.
Yes.
Virupar.
Okay, you have exams, so I am allowing you to leave.